What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews, exclusively here as always on the Casa D18 Studios channel. I, of course, am your host, the Renegade JJ Williams, and today we're going to be taking a look at a film that examines what the world could be like had the Beatles never existed. And that is 2019's Yesterday, starring Himesh Patel, Lily James, Joel Fry, Ed Sheeran, Kate McKinnon, Justin Edwards, Sarah Lancashire, James Corden, and Robert Carlyle. What's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining me here once again for another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews. And like I said during the introduction, today's film takes a look at what our world could be like had the Beatles never existed. And I gotta say, when I first heard about this film, it definitely struck me as an interesting concept because, as I've mentioned a couple times over the course of the week, the Beatles are arguably the greatest rock and roll band in music history. And to think that if they hadn't existed, what could have been, because they heavily influenced pop music, rock music, pop culture, many bands that came after them. So if they never existed, would any of those bands even exist? And if they did, what would they sound like? Very, very interesting to think about. But enough about that. Let's get into this here, shall we? Our movie opens and we meet Jack Malik, a struggling singer-songwriter from Lowestoft, England, who plays gigs to very tiny crowds. His manager and childhood friend, Ellie Appleton, encourages him to keep on pursuing his dreams and to never give up on himself. After playing at the Latitude Festival, which is Jack's biggest gig to date, even though it is in the smallest tent of the festival, Jack contemplates retiring. And as Jack rides his bike home that evening, a global power outage occurs for 12 seconds, which causes him to get hit by a bus. He ends up in the hospital, and once he recovers, Ellie gives him a brand new guitar, since his previous one was destroyed in the accident. Jack decides that an amazing, beautiful guitar like he's received deserves an amazing, beautiful song for its first song. And he begins to perform Yesterday for his friends. And they are just blown away by the lyrics and its beauty. And they all start to question him. When did he write the song? And he tells them, I didn't write the song. Paul McCartney wrote the song. And they ask who Paul McCartney is. He tells them the Beatles. They ask him who the Beatles are. They think he's talking about the Volkswagen car, the Beetle. And Jack begins to realize that none of his friends have heard of the Beatles, or they're playing a practical joke on him. Now, Jack is in an alternate reality where the Beatles never formed. And he's going on the internet. He's Googling the Beatles, John, Paul, George, Ringo. You know, all these little things that might kick up some kind of reference to show that they existed, and nothing. So Jack decides to begin performing the Beatles songs, and he passes them off as his own. Ellie is able to get Jack connected with a guy named Gavin, who is a local music producer who records Jack's demo featuring all these Beatles songs. And the demo begins to garner some attention for Jack, which leads to a television performance. After the TV performance, Jack is contacted by Ed Sheeran and offered the opportunity to play as his opening act in Moscow, an opportunity which Jack jumps at. However, Ellie is unable to join him as she has obligations with her day job as a school teacher. So Jack enlists his roadie friend, Rocky, to travel with him instead. One evening after a gig, Ed Sheeran challenges Jack to a songwriting duel. And after Jack plays The Long and Winding Road, Sheeran graciously accepts defeat. This prompts Sheeran's manager, Deborah Hammer, to sign Jack to her label, and she begins to engineer his rise to fame. At a going-away party in Jack's honor, Ellie confesses to Jack that she has always been in love with him. Jack flies out to LA to begin work on his album, but he's having a hard time remembering the lyrics to Eleanor Rigby. Hoping to trigger memories, Jack takes a trip to Liverpool, England, home of the Beatles. And Ellie surprises Jack in Liverpool, and they spend a night together drinking, talking, and they even finally kiss. But Ellie tells Jack that she's not interested in being a one-night stand. The next morning, Jack and Rocky pursue Ellie to the train station, where she congratulates Jack on his newfound success, but tells him that she cannot be a part of the celebrity life. Jack returns to LA, heartbroken and desperate to have a normal life again, while Ellie begins to date Gavin, the producer who helped Jack make his demo. As the record label prepares to launch Jack's debut album, they reject his album title suggestions that are based on actual Beatle album titles, instead choosing to call it One Man Only as a way to push Jack's talent. Jack is able to convince the record label to let him launch the album with a concert on the rooftop of the Gorleston-on-Sea, where two other people who were transferred into this alternate reality confront Jack backstage and tell him that they know that he didn't write the songs. But instead of being mad, they thank him for putting the songs back out there into the world, as they had feared that the Beatles' music was gone forever. They give Jack a piece of paper with an address on it and encourage him to look into the address. When Jack arrives at the house located at the address, he's greeted by a 78-year-old man named John Lennon. Since this reality, the Beatles never formed, there was no superfan to assassinate him in December of 1980. So he's able to live a full life. John tells Jack that he's lived a happy life with his wife and tells Jack to pursue the one he loves and to always tell the truth. After leaving John, Jack calls Ed Sheeran and asks for a favor. Ed arranges for Jack to be able to perform at Wembley Stadium during his concert. And after his performance, Jack confesses to the crowd that he plagiarized the music and that he's in love with Ellie. Jack makes an announcement to Rocky to upload the songs to the internet, and he makes them free of charge, sabotaging the release of his debut album and enraging Deborah. Our film comes to its conclusion as Jack and Ellie get married and start a family, and Jack gives up stardom to become a music teacher. Man, I gotta say, this film really opened my eyes and raised a lot of questions for me. You know, what if the Beatles never existed? What if they had never formed? What if John Lennon had not been shot? You know, in 2019, when this film came out, me, my mom, my stepdad, and my daughter went to Vegas to go see Paul McCartney live in concert. The weekend we went to go see him, my stepdad and I went to go see this film in theaters, kind of like an appetizer, if you will, to lead up to the concert. And we both looked at it, and we were both just kind of in awe over it. Fast forward a month or so later, and out here at Dodger Stadium, me, my mom, my stepdad, we're all getting ready to go see Paul McCartney again live in concert. So I took a trip up to their house, and this time my mom and I went to go see this, again as an appetizer to lead up to the concert. And she was mind blown. And me having already had seen it, I kind of prepared her for the controversial scene, but I didn't tell her what it was, the scene being that of John Lennon. And she was just floored by it as well. You know, I've got to give kudos to Robert Carlyle for his portrayal of 78-year-old John Lennon. Now, I don't have a source for this, so forgive me on that. But I vaguely remember reading when this movie first came out, Robert Carlyle asked Danny Boyle, the director, to not be credited for this. He did not. He just wanted to do it as a favor. I even vaguely remember reading, and again, I have no source to cite on this because I can't find the article, but I remember reading that Robert Carlyle either did not get paid or took a very, very minimal SAG base rate pay for this role because he just wanted to do it as a favor to Danny and because of what the Beatles meant to him and to so many people. If all of that is in fact accurate, then again, kudos to Robert Carlyle because I became a fan of his watching him on Once Upon a Time as Rumpelstiltskin. And I gotta say, I wonder if there is a deleted scene out there from his encounter with Jack. Because there's a moment when Jack is just like in shock and awe that he's lived to be 78 years old. And I would love to see a deleted scene where Robert Carlyle, you know, snappy comebacks. All magic comes with a price, dearie. Just dropping that legendary Rumpelstiltskin quote. Because if you think about it, the whole point of this film is the Beatles didn't exist. So John was able to still live a life, not be assassinated by a superfan. All magic comes with a price. With the Beatles' rise to fame came the Beatlemania, came the superfans, came the assassination. So it would be a funny throwback to his role as Rumpelstiltskin, while also still holding some merit and some weight to the narrative of the film. Again, I would love to see a deleted scene like that if it exists. I don't think it does because I own the DVD Blu-ray and I haven't seen anything like that on there. But I just think that would have been so hilarious. Lily James, I thought, did a great job as Ellie. Ed Sheeran. You know, let me talk about Ed Sheeran for a minute because I am not a fan of Ed Sheeran. His song Thinking Out Loud is one of my least favorite songs of all time because I hate the line in it where he says, I'll just keep on making the same mistakes, hoping that you'll understand. It just says to me that, like, I am not willing to grow and improve myself. I'm just going to keep making the same mistakes, doing the same things that get you upset, and hopefully you'll understand. No, homie. If you keep making the same mistakes, eventually your woman is going to get upset enough that she's going to leave you. No. But that being said, I thought he did an amazing job in this film. This film really made me enjoy Ed Sheeran just a little bit more than I did. I'm still not rushing out there to buy his albums, listen to his music, but I thought that his performance in this was really, really good. When it comes to my rating of this film, I'm going to give this one 4.5 out of 5 stars. I really loved the concept. I loved the narrative. I thought it was handled really well. And I think that anybody that is a Beatles fan that has not seen this needs to go out and see this film. Whether you look it up on streaming or you go buy a hard copy of it, whatever, you need to see this film because it really makes you wonder and appreciate the effect that the Beatles had on a number of things. 4.5 out of 5 stars in my opinion. What do you guys think out there, those of you that've seen it? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Let me know. If you're watching the premiere, leave your thoughts and comments over here. If you're watching on demand, leave your thoughts and comments down here. Whatever you do, though, when you get out there on social media, let's try to get those hashtags trending. Hashtag Casa D18 Studios, hashtag Renegades Reviews, hashtag Renegade Returns, and of course, the ever popular hashtag Shenanigans. We interrupt this episode of Renegades Reviews for an important announcement about
merchandising.
Merchandising? What's that?
Merchandising. Come, I'll show you. Merchandising, where the real money's made.
Make sure you go over to teespring.com/stores/Jeff Meacham Network for all the t-shirts you see here from the West Coast professor, Jeff Meacham himself. You can get shirts for the Jeff Meacham Network, Talk Wrestling, as well as the red and gold Meachamania shirts. And while you're there, don't forget to get your shirts of the Casa D18 Studios Brotherhood, the Dads on Wrestling shirt, the Renegade J.J. Williams, Statboy Sports Bar, and the hashtag Statboy Approved shirt. Make sure you go over to teespring.com/stores/Jeff Meacham Network and score your shirts today. Make sure you guys go out there. Do what that commercial just told you. You go to teespring.com/stores/Jeff Meacham Network. All the official merchandise of the Casa D18 Studios Brotherhood. Get you your Renegade J.J. Williams shirt. Dad's Not Always on Wrestling. Statboy Sports Bar. Hashtag Statboy Approved. Hashtag Shenanigans. Get you your official merchandise of the Jeff Meacham Network. 3 different designs of the Jeff Meacham Network logo for you to choose from, along with Talk Wrestling, Meachamania, so much more. It's still summertime. You still got time for those barbecues, pool parties, beach bonfires. Go to the Teespring store, get yourself a tank top, and choose from the Renegade J.J. Williams and Meachamania. Either one's the perfect accessory for those hot summer days and those even hotter summer nights. Get out there, show your love and support. While you're showing your love and support, do what that ticker tells you to do. Do you enjoy my content, my daily videos? If so, go to that PayPal, send me a few bucks as a donation. Keep in mind, I'm still not monetized, still trying to get my viewership hours up so I can become monetized. It's a long and winding road, a hard struggle to get there. But in the meantime, in order to make some money, the only way I can do that is if you guys out there go to that PayPal link and send me a few bucks. Don't want to send any money? That's fine. I understand. Tomorrow is my birthday, so you still got time. Go to that link tree. Click on the link for my Amazon movie wish list. Constantly updating it, adding new movies. Go to the list, select a movie for me. When it arrives, I'll open it live on Renegade Recap, give you guys a shout out. Thank you. Likewise, when I factor it into my theme months, I can sit down, watch it, and review it, and give you guys another shout out. And I'll show you guys the same amount of love and support that you guys show to me. Make sure you guys tune in tomorrow, right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel, for another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews, when we will be discussing my favorite movie of all time to celebrate my birthday from 1993, Tombstone, starring Kurt Russell, Val Kilmer, Sam Elliott, Bill Paxton, Powers Booth, Michael Biehn, Charlton Heston, Jason Priestley, Stephen Lang, Thomas Hayden Church, Dana Delaney, Joanna Pacula, Michael Rooker, Harry Carey Jr., Billy Bob Thornton, Billy Zane, John Corbett, and Robert Mitchum. You're not going to want to miss out tomorrow, right back here on the Casa D18 Studios channel, for another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews, when we celebrate my birthday and we discuss Tombstone. To all my loyal fans and viewers out there tuning in for the premiere, leaving your thoughts and comments over here, thank you very much. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you. Likewise, all my loyal fans and viewers out there tuning in a little bit later in the day, watching on demand, leaving your thoughts and comments down here. Thank you very much. I appreciate each and every one of you. I appreciate all my loyal fans and viewers out there that tune in on a daily basis and show me all that love and support. Regular viewers, thank you so much. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time.